My name is Bridgit Kurgat, the Executive Director at Reprodrive, and I'm passionate about gender mainstreaming, more so gender affirmative action policies and programming. When we were founding Reprodrive, we were a team of young people, and initially we just felt that we needed to address menstrual health, and more so among school-going children, especially the high schools, because of the experience each one of us had. But over time, we sat down and we felt that we needed to discuss gender issues in a more holistic manner, not only in a way that addresses menstrual health, but addresses the entire well-being of the girl. And that is when we decided to enter into SRHR in the wider spectrum, and even now go into the policy space so that we can address systemic issues. So basically, I've been privileged to be involved in all the projects that Reprodrive has been involved in. Maybe just to say, the Jabali project that specifically addressed menstrual health issues, Sapphire project, which addressed sexual and reproductive health of adolescents, which included services and information. And currently now being involved in the policy space, where we want to ensure that gender mainstreaming has been brought to the local level and implemented at the local level. And of all the projects, one thing that really stood for me in particular was the Sapphire project that involved adolescents and young people. Was that the program was able to reach the young target group from 10 to 19, an age that was specifically not thought of, an age whereby people thought didn't actually require sexual and reproductive health information and services. So for me, I feel like that was the biggest and let me say unique thing we were able to address, especially in an environment where sexual and reproductive health matters is stigmatized. But we managed to engage the community, spoke with the community influencers, and with time we created change and reached a big number of girls and changed community as a whole. So at the moment, as a team, and I also feel like this is a personal initiative, we are working towards domesticating the gender policy. My vision has always been, how do we bring this conversation on gender issues, not only in the boardrooms, but in a way that we practice it in our offices, in our homes, even in the government space, the local government space. So we are currently working on making sure that we domesticate the gender policy and actually make it a law, so that we are able to have more resources being pumped into the sector. We are able to have women and men participating equally into the space. And I am so proud that, as the Executive Director, Reprodrive is taking lead and is putting this region in the global map. Wow, that's a tricky question. I feel like Reprodrive has molded my career path. My background being gender, I wasn't sure how best to tackle this issue, given that, gender is something that is interpreted in so many ways. It's interpreted as being a feminist, more so a radical feminist. But being involved in Reprodrive's programs and work has made me appreciate all views, including the biased views, has helped me appreciate that, gender is a multidimensional approach thing. It's not just about women. We actually need everyone in the community to participate in this discussion so that we can have a dignified and wholesome community. So it has shaped my perspective in a nutshell, from being like gender is about, the radical fight for women in the space, to gender being creating an environment where we can all thrive, given equal opportunities. All right, so as the Executive Director for Reprodrive, one unforgettable impact I want to mention is when we had our interactions with Options Consultancy in one of the projects known as Sapphire, which was targeting young people with SRHR information and education. And this was because they came in and nurtured us. When they found us, we didn't have, proper systems in place. We didn't have the policies needed for us to actually go after the major grants. And they came in, gave us capacity strengthening grants, as well as enabled us to implement the project as well. So there was an interaction of the two running concurrently, which I felt was the best way approach to nurture a young youth-led, community-led organization. And after the 5 years capacity building, what it did was that it enabled us to even get more grants towards the organization. So as an organization, we faced 3 major challenges. One is Reprodrive was coming into a space which is majorly patriarchal. And the first project we were implementing was basically on sexual and reproductive health. So at the top of our heads, we knew that there would be stigma surrounding it, and it would be a challenge, which was actually a challenge initially. But how we overcame it is we made strategies where we had community buy-in. We brought everyone into the space, be it young people, be it women, be it men, be it community influencers. And with time, we were able to have a collaborative kind of activities with the community, and we got that buy-in. The second challenge was the local government seeing CSOs as organizations that scrutinize their work and asking them for, accountability, but in the negative spectrum. So how we overcame this is we approached them, gave them the proper rollout of the projects we were creating and the need for those projects in the community. And with time, we took the approach of collaborative work, whereby we were bringing in resources, they were bringing in the technical expertise, and vice versa. And with time, we realized that when we are working together, it made community projects seamless to implement. The major one was major donors wanting organizations that already have big funding base and have proper structures, as well as have all the major policies. But for grassroots organizations, especially those that are led by young people, this is something that they need to harness, or they need to have resources so that they can have people to come and capacity build them, which is also something that actually cuts across major CSOs in Kenya. But for us as Reprodrive, we overcame this by having capacity strengthening activities through one of our major partners, which was Options Consultancy, courtesy of Children's Investments Fund. All right, so how do I envision our organization, let me say in the next 5 years? First of all, let me say that I'm proud that we have been able to run programmatic work flawless, seamlessly. And let me say that I'm also proud it has been led by young people under 30. And now what I envision that now we have the community buy-in is that we are getting into the policy space, whereby we are now questioning those in authority. We are asking for accountability, that where are the leaders who actually say that the community needs to implement gender mainstreaming strategies. The second part is I'm seeing Reprodrive taking over the tech space and seeing how to impact the community so that we ensure that there's efficiency. For a long time, we've always talked about quality, but how do the community members access quality in terms of services and information, be it in the health space, be it in community projects. How do we get to the community? So our vision as Reprodrive is, how do we bridge the two between accessibility and quality, as well as overall impacting the community through the policy space.